back, welcome back to the channel. This episode, time to play with the Z1000. As I said, I'm going to break things up, just have a little bit of time on each bike. It makes it more exciting for me, makes it more exciting for the viewers, hopefully, if it works okay. So Z1000, we've covered this in a couple of episodes before. I've played with various rear ends on it. I'm going to start stripping it down, get the engine out, and then we can start working our way through the engine. So the side panels and tailpiece for now will be taken off, wrapped up and stored away. Tank again will be stored, probably give it a quick clean, get the words out, and then wrap that and store that as well. But it's primarily the engine is what I'm looking at and what I want. Carbs again will be taken off, put to one side for now, and then we'll cover them in a later episode when the carbs are stripped down, cleaned. Again, depending on whether I actually decide to stay with these carbs, but they do need doing anyway, so I'll probably refurbish them, and if I decide to sell them, then they'll obviously be worth a little bit more because they've had a stripped down, refurbished, clean, new parts gone in. So that's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to start getting this apart, take everything out. I'll start putting it into individual tubs, label the tubs so I know exactly where most parts come from, and so there's not a great deal actually on it. So that's the plan, so let's get cracking, get this engine out. So as we covered before, Z1000J2 1982 engine, 998cc. I did say before it has run, but a long time ago, so this needs to come out and then we can start stripping it down, see what we find. I'll give it a real good clean up. As I say, the engine will need cleaning down, repainting, and then obviously we've got the big bore to go in. I'll have a look at the cylinder head, but first we need to get it out of this frame. Right, so first job, obviously, before I start taking the engine out, it should be an easy one to get in. It's only held in by actually a couple of bolts. Get the tank off, seat, bodywork, and obviously remove the rear swing arm. Still undecided. As I expected, it seems to have been a 50-50 split as to single-sided or conventional monoshock versus twin shock. I mean, the other thing I've got, don't know if that would fit, that's another idea. That's a 750 S-Rad polished swing arm. Again, that would mean going back to monoshock, but it is actually a twin-sided. Don't know if it will work if I inverted it and turned it upside down, but we'll have a look at that at a later date. But I'll get this bodywork off and then we'll just be left with literally a frame engine, and then we'll get that engine out, move the frame out to one side. That can be put away for now, and then we can start looking at the engine, see what we've got. Well, that's most of it off. Bodywork and a few extra panels and bits and pieces I had bolted in. I say rear swing arm, that was just easy, bolt and pull it out. So all I've got holding this together is this bolt here and this bolt here. And then the engine should actually, I'm actually going to try and leave the engine on the stand, because I remember the fun I had with the Z650 engine. Obviously that was all in bits, built it on the workbench, and it's trying to get it off the workbench and back it down onto the ground. It was quite a heavy old lump. So I'm just going to remove this bolt and this bolt. As I say, there are only two that are holding this in rough place at the moment. Normally there'll be a lot more to actually keep this in situ. So hopefully the next time you see it, I would have removed this bolt, and the engine will just be sitting on the stand, and then I can jack that up. Then we can get the carbs off, get some trays out and start marking all the trays up and putting in the individual parts in trays, and then the frame I'll hang up and store somewhere. Right, and there we have it. Took a little bit of jiggling, but came out. I had to remove the carbs anyway, and the sprocket cover. So the frame I can just store to one side for now. Like I said, I'm actually going to leave for now this engine on this stand. I think it'll be easier to work on from this height, because it is a heavy old lump. It's obviously heavier than the Z650, and I had trouble trying to get that off a workbench down onto the ground. Now the fun begins. We start stripping down the engine. So let me clear these parts away. I've already started with some trays. Try and find somewhere to hang the frame out of the way, and then we'll go from there. Right, so that's the plugs out. Now we can start taking out the cases. Again, most of these were polished. I just need bringing back. Obviously you're going to need new gaskets throughout. Again, the sprocket can come off. But let me turn the engine round and we'll get the cases off from the other side. I think this one's actually, no. Right, that's actually the spring from this seal. I'm going to say that seal is going to have to be replaced. Off. Again, this will all be cleaned up. So this is all going to be replaced. New gaskets throughout. As expected, came out in quite a lot of bits. All the edges I'll clean up when we come to rebuild scrape all these parts off and clean round. Again, that'll be refurbed. Rocker cover's the easiest one, it's not actually held in with anything. That was all loosely fitted. Alright, so it's just these carb rubbers to come off, and that will probably just about do it. And then next episode we'll start stripping down. So, nice pile of parts on the bench of everything that's come off the engine so far. Most of the engine covers, as they do take up space. Carbs, we'll revisit them at a later date. I will be stripping them down, whether I decide to keep them or not, unsure at the moment. And then just obviously various bolts and brackets, etc. So what I might do is try and clear, laugh, some space on that shelving unit and actually use that for the engine parts that come out of the Z. As per usual, I'm pretty rammed in here. I need to try and clear some parts. So I will be going through and probably doing eBay, try and get rid of some. The barrels and pistons from this engine I will be selling. It will recoup some of the money back I spent on the big bore block, and it helps fund the actual project. So anybody interested in 1982 J2 barrels, say 998cc, be barrels and pistons together, will be for sale. Right, so thanks for joining me on that one. Just say this is going to be a fun project. Next episode I was hoping to be back on the Z650. I was hoping to do one episode a week on the Z1000, one episode a week on the Z650. Parts I was waiting for are again for the exhaust. Unfortunately only part of it's turned up, so I can't do the complete job. I'm still looking for the exhaust brackets, the hanger brackets for the rear. I may have to try and make something up just to hold them in place for now, but I'm waiting for the gaskets to turn up. I've got one turned up, I'm waiting for the other three. So then we can go ahead and get the exhaust fitted and hopefully move forward with that. So I was hoping they were all going to be here, but they've come as part delivered, so one of them things, unfortunately. So I'm going to continue on with the Z1000 project. We're going to dive back in next episode, start stripping down the actual all the cams and start going down, and hopefully get down to basically the barrels off. So that's where I want to get to. I'm still undecided of whether I should go further into the engine, split the engine and actually go inside and give it a good clean out and see what's in there, check the chains. I may do, I'm unsure at the moment. It would be a shame to do all this work and then when it's all back together realise, oh, there's something wrong with the gearbox, etc. But we'll have a look as we get further down. But next episode we're going to get the head and the barrels off. Links to other videos at the end of the video. Comments in the comments box below. You know I appreciate all your feedback, all your comments. And join me again next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.